Hey, it's Wellness Wednesday. Hey, hey, it's Wellness Wednesday. Hey, hey, are you feeling it? Are you feeling it? It's Wellness Wednesday. Hey, hey, hey. All right, let me stop playing. Y'all know y'all get way more of the music when I'm doing the music, okay? Give me a second because I'm going to share on Facebook. Okay. I've shared it on Facebook. All right. So we're shared. Great day, great day, great day. Great day. It's good to be in the house of the Lord one more time. I don't know what I am today. It's interesting. Today is very calm and relaxed for me, but also like, girl, you need to do some work. So I'm somewhere in between, but I'm always glad to be alive and breathing, honey. That is the ultimate of the ultimates. So today I want to talk about domestication. If you have not read this book, oh my gosh, you should read this book. This book is so amazing. It's the Four Agreements, super simple, easy read. Um, Let me see. It has like 140 pages, and you see how little it is. And it's like big writing. You literally do not have to do much up in here. So I want to talk about domestication because this was a topic that I definitely knew about before reading this book, but the way he put it, I was like, oh, he's on to something here. I just felt like he was on to something. So I wanted to share it with you because every person on this planet goes through domestication. And I think that if we were to be more open about the conversation and domestication, we would be able to have more empathy and less judgment with ourselves and with others. Because domestication really has us out here living lives that are not aligned to who we are. And we don't even know that our lives aren't aligned to who we are because everyone's gone through domestication and it's become something that's so familiar to everyone around us. So, domestication is something that every child goes through, and it's the act of being acclimated to the perceptions, the beliefs, and the realities of all of the adults around you. So, literally, when you're in church, when you have parents, when you have siblings, when you're in school, as a child, all of these entities are putting their beliefs on you. They're putting their perceptions on you. Like for instance, if you have a parent who watches the news every day, their perception might be that the world is dangerous. Okay? Because every day they turn on the TV and they watch people get shot. And so you might not feel that perception in life. But because you live in the house with someone who has that perception as a child and you don't have a say, your that perception can come onto you and you can take it on as your own. And the reason why this is so crazy is because you now have a perception that you live through that the world is dangerous that doesn't match your actual belief system. You may believe that everything's safe, and you might want to live your life like that in freedom. But because you have this perception that you've been domesticated to, that the world is violent, you can't live your life in freedom because you don't even understand that this thought is not yours. And so domestication can come through in a lot of ways because if you think about it, as children, we didn't get to choose anything. We didn't choose our name, the language we speak, the religion that we're under, the way we dress. Everything about us was chosen by an adult. And even if we have loving parents, loving teachers, they still are basing things off of their world and not ours. And so domestication is something that we have to look at, because in order for you to live a life that is true to who you are, you have to understand domestication and start to understand how to break domestication. A lot of times we find ourselves in unhappy situations, whether it's your relationships, whether you're unhappy with your health, the job that you have, and these things that um, they don't make us happy. They seem to not be aligned with who we are. They're direct results of domestication. So by going back and understanding the beliefs, the fundaments that have been put on you by the adults around you that don't fit you, you're then able to start breaking up patterns and beliefs in your life that don't align with you. And then you're able to make patterns and belief in your life that do align to who you are. And that's when you get to the golden spot. That's when you start manifesting a life that is your true desires. And we hear people talk about living your true desires, manifesting a life that's true to your desires all the time. But what does that look like? Step one is understanding domestication. So I want to read from this book a little bit, The Four Agreements. This book is by Don Miguel Ruiz. If you have not touched this book, I really like, just go get it. It's a life-changing book. Excuse me. So I want to read to you a little bit about domestication from this book, um, because I just love the way he puts it. So it says, attention is the ability we have to discriminate and to focus only on that which we want to perceive. We can perceive millions of things simultaneously, but using our attention, we can hold whatever we want to perceive in the foreground of our mind. The adults around us hooked our attention and put information into our minds through repetition. This is the way we learned everything we know. By using our attention, we learned a whole reality. We learned how to behave in society, what to believe and what not to believe, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable, what is good and what is bad, what is beautiful and what is ugly, what is right and what is wrong. It was all there already, all the knowledge, all of those rules and concepts about how to behave in the world. When you were in school, you sat in a little chair and put your attention on what the teacher was teaching you. When you were in church, you put your attention on what the priest or minister was teaching you. In the same dynamic with mom and dad, brothers and sisters, they were all trying to hook your attention. We also learn to hook the attention of other humans, and we develop a need for attention that can become very competitive. Children often compete for the attention of their parents, their teachers, and their friends. Look at me. Look what I'm doing. Hey, I'm here. The need for attention becomes very strong and continues into adulthood. So, here we learn that domestication is a process that is really pushed on us through attention grabbing. Excuse me. Now, if you can think about a child, right, who's doing something, usually when a child's doing something, like they're going to walk off to explore a tree, the best thing that you know how to do typically to get them to do what you want is to grab their attention. Now, this can happen in a lot of ways that is very meaningfully loving to the child. For instance, if you're on a hike with your son or daughter and they go to the side to look at a tree, you grab their attention to bring them back on the trail because you lovingly do not want them to go off in the wilderness. It's an act of love in the time. But what you have really done is take their exploratory mind, what they know to be believed and true, meaning that there's something new here and I want to explore it. They go to explore it, and by grabbing their attention, you're telling them not to trust themselves and that what is grabbing their attention is not worthy of their attention. So every piece of information that we get as a child is domesticating us, right? When you tell a child no, you're not just saying no. Even if it's like, hey, no, don't touch the stove, you're literally telling them not to touch themselves, not to trust themselves. Now, it can be loving and it can be life-saving, but the thing is that we have to affirm our children. Hey, I know you want to touch this. I know you want to go off. And I could see how and why you would want to do that. But mommy needs you to come back here. And this is why. And I know it seems like, oh, that's a fucking lot because you don't have a kid every day with you. But this is what domestication does. It makes our children and us feel like their voice does not matter. And it increases their ability to not trust themselves or listen to the voices inside of them. So the only way to really put a cushion on that is to allow their voices to be heard. Now, most of us at this time, we didn't get that. Our parents weren't on Facebook and Instagram live with people telling them how to reverse domestication. So they just didn't know that with us, right? So we were just domesticated. We were told no over and over and over again. And every time you're told no, think about as an adult when you have an idea and you're told no, like how does it make you feel? How does it make you feel when someone tells you no? You can type it in the comments and let me know. How does it make you feel when someone tells you no? If you have a good idea and somebody's like, I don't know about that. How does that make you feel? When you want to start a business and people are like, no, I don't really believe you can do that. How does that make you feel? Like when you want to cook something, you want to eat something for dinner, and your lover is like, no, I don't want that. That's a bad idea. How does that make you feel? It's very telling because kids feel like this all day. When you were a child, you were told no constantly. And the same no that you get now as an adult, it makes you feel the same way as a child. It makes you second guess yourself. It makes you feel like you're not right for anything. So you get told no, and then your attention gets grabbed onto something else. So not only were you told no, not to trust yourself, but then adults grabbed your attention and placed it somewhere else. So this essentially makes a fuck fest because now you're so disconnected from who you are. You grow up thinking that, oh, you're going to be a banker because that's what your parents want you to be, when all you want to do is dance on a stage. But it's really hard to connect with this idea of dancing or creating music because society has told you that artists are broke. Artists don't make money. But whose perception is that? Because there are artists out here who are making money. So we always have to take domestication into consideration when we're looking at a life, building a life that is to our true desires. Who do you really be? Who are you? Who do you be? Who are you? Are you creative? Do you like to sing? Do you just want to help people? What experiences do you have that would just light you all the way up? When you start asking yourself these questions, you'll realize a lot of the times the answers are far away from what your parents thought. I love my parents so much. I love them to life. But their views don't align with mine. My father probably feels a lot of kind of ways about me moving to Jamaica, but my heart tells me I should go. And if I was still in my domesticated process, I would be scared to move to another country that I've never been to because my father's belief systems They don't align with going somewhere without knowing all the details. That's him. He analyzes things, and that's fine. And he did a great job raising me. I love him for it. He didn't even have to do that. But that's not who I am. Who I am is I take very, very big risk in life, and my rewards are usually great, but I do it in a way that it brings peace to me. Like I always say, my steps are always ordered. So, what's that for you? What's that belief that your parents put on you that you just don't align with? What does that look like and feel like for you? Do you believe the world is a safe place? Do you believe that there's love in the world? Do you believe that? Do you even believe in the religion that you say you do? Are you a Christian? Do you believe that you have to pray to Jesus in order to pray to God? Do you really believe in Biden instead of Trump? Like, what are all, and there's no right or wrong. I don't care for what the answer is, but I do care that you get the answer, because who you are has to come directly from you and your beliefs. And when you're domesticated, it is the exact opposite. And most of us go through life in a domesticated state, and we never even question who we are and what aligns to us. So ask yourself these questions and answer them. I don't need to know the answer, I'm detached. But answer these questions for yourself. And if you're struggling to know if they're your beliefs or your parents' beliefs or someone else's, ask yourself why. So, say the question is, are you a Christian? And you say no. And you're like, wow, I thought I was a Christian this whole time. Why are you not? Say you say yes, and you're like, wow, that's interesting. I do align with my parents' belief. Why are you? So these are questions that you hear thrown out all the time. But watch a live like this and actually ask yourself the questions. Like literally right now, ask yourself a question and make sure that you answer it. Don't just sit here by the wayside and be like, oh, this was great information. You have been domesticated just like all of us. So, in order to live the life that you actually desire, to be happy from your core, to have the dream job that you want, to have the dream house that you want, to have children who feel loved and they are like the children that you want, you have to get to the core of who you are. And it's really important to ask yourself these questions and to answer them. Place your attention on your true desires and they will come to light. That is how manifestation works. So, I want to read something else from the book. In human domestication, the information from the outside dream is conveyed to the inside dream, creating a whole belief system. We train our children with a system of punishment and reward. Soon, we become so afraid of being punished and also afraid of not receiving the reward. The reward is the attention that we get from our parents or from other people like siblings, teachers, friends. We soon develop a need to hook other people's attention in order to get the reward. The fear of being rejected becomes the fear of not being good enough. The fear of being rejected becomes the fear of not being good enough. Eventually, we become someone that we are not. We become a copy of mama's beliefs, daddy's beliefs, and society's beliefs and our religious beliefs. We rebel because we are defending our freedom. We rebel because we're defending our freedom. And then we are so well trained that we become our own domesticator. So, what this is telling you essentially is where negative self talk comes from. Oh, I remember this. Isn't it cute? So, negative self talk comes because you have been trained to live on someone else's beliefs, and that changes your beliefs into thinking that you're not good enough when you don't receive the attention that you want. So when you're domesticated to someone else's beliefs, your mom, your father's, your society beliefs, sibling beliefs, excuse me, the only way that you can get attention from these people is to adhere to their belief system through domestication. If you don't adhere to their system, you are punished. You're called the black sheep. You get time out. You get what is it called? When you're at school, you get punished. You just get punished for not adhering to their belief systems. So what this is telling you inside of your head is you're not good enough. You don't think good enough. You're whatever you're thinking is just not good enough. So these are the negative self-talks we have in our head about not being good enough. And that leads you to a lot of different things. Like say for instance, you actually want to be an entrepreneur, but you don't think you're good enough to do it. A lot of that comes from negative self-talk through domestication and not having the attention that you thought you deserved as a child. Say that you want to have a job of being a surgeon, but you cop out for a desk job of being a bill collector because you don't think you're good enough to be a surgeon, to go through school and do all the things that you need to do to be a surgeon. So this negative self-talk now comes into your life and it wreaks havoc on everything that you do. And you literally get separated every step of the way from who you truly are. There is a whew, there is a saying in the conscious community, thank you for answering the call. And what that really means is that you had a calling on your life and you chose to wake up one day and answer it and do that. I am answering the call. My call is to be a holistic health coach. And the reason why is because my call is to reach to my community and teach all of the things that I've learned through science and spirituality. So, a lot of times when people are affected by my story, they're inspired when I coach people and they appreciate my program. They'll say, thank you for answering the call. Some people's call can be reached through a job, right? But is it the right job? Are you collecting on bills and not answering the call when you should be maybe at a nonprofit? You see what I'm saying? So your call doesn't have to be entrepreneurship. Your call doesn't have to be parenthood. Like everyone's call is different and you don't have to answer it in the same way. But you do want to answer it. And in order to answer your call, you have to get off of the belief system and the negative self talk of you're not enough of domestication. That's like one of the most important things in your journey is to understand domestication and understand what do you believe that is actually aligned with who you are and what do you believe that doesn't serve you, that is not aligned with who you are, that is a thought, a belief, a pattern of your mother, your father, your siblings, your teacher, your priest, your preacher. Who are you to your core? What do you believe and who are you? Who are you? Start to get really intimate with this question, and you will see that there's a lot of things that you might need to let go. And if you don't need to let go of things, great. That is fine. But you still have to ask the question in order to know what you're doing. Are you letting it go? Are you keeping it? What's of you and what's not? So domestication is really it's an intricate process because at this time in society, we're all domesticated in a very similar way. So it seems as though when we get to go to college and we get to go get our job and we get to be at a 9 to 5 and we get to work it for 30 years, that seems like the norm. At this point in our society, domestication is the norm. So, in order for you to live a life true to your desires and connected to who you actually are, you have to step outside the box and be not normal. Because I don't even know what that means. But you're going to have people who question you. You're going to have people be like, oh, you're too good. I had people who love my lifestyle now, and I have people in my family who think that I think I'm better than them because of how I live. So be it. I still have to answer the call, and I'm willing to pay that price. I'm willing to stand up in who I am and live exactly how I am. And I'm willing to be judged. I'm willing to be shunned. I'm willing to be in solitude and feel lonely about my decision because I deserve to be exactly who the fuck I am. Are you willing to do that? Is there something that you need to let go of that doesn't serve you? And sometimes it does come with cost. A lot of the times it does come with cost because a lot of the times you're the only one in your circle and around you who is going to take the time to look at domestication and look at the fact that what you're doing is not aligned to who you are. And when you're the only one, you're going to pay some prices for it. Probably. So be willing to do that. Ask yourself the questions. What do I believe in that I got from my parents, that I got from some other adult in my life that doesn't align with me now? What perceptions am I living life through that don't serve me? Ask yourself these questions. And when you answer them, you will start to peel back the layers of who you truly are. And from that place, all of your true desires will come to you. It could really all be so simple. So that's my little chat on domestication. Again, if you have not read this book, it's called The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. This is an amazing book. Go and pick it up. This is where I saw the best. It's really the best explanation of domestication I've seen. But I challenge you to get the book, to think the thoughts, to write down the things, and really answer the questions like who are you and what do you actually want? That's the first step to living the life of your dreams. So that is my time. If you don't know me, my name is Coach Cherette. I am a holistic health coach. I assist Black entrepreneurs in creating generational health because you cannot create a business and wealth if you are dead and have no health. So I'm here to help you elevate your health and pass it down to generations after generations. If you have not, go ahead, click the link in my bio, and download the Ultimate Guide to Healthy Living. There you will get very, very adequate information on how you can start living healthy today. Also in my bio, the first button is a very special organization to my heart called Grown in Haiti. They are building a community center in Haiti. And if you have it on your heart, please go to that button and donate to Grown in Haiti. They're doing amazing work on the island of Haiti. And I really want to bring awareness to this island because we don't talk about Haiti enough. But there's a lot of things that our brothers and sisters can use. And Grown in Haiti is on the ground and doing it. So check out the link in my bio and check out the first button and donate to Grow in Haiti if you can. All right. So that is my time. Again, I'm Coach Cherette. I am a holistic health coach. If you have any questions or concerns, do not be afraid to slide in my DMs because I do answer them, preferably on Instagram. Okay. But if you have any questions or concerns about anything that I've said here, talk to me and I will talk back. I love you so much. You're doing an amazing job in this life. And join me at the same time, same place next week on Wellness Wednesdays because I don't know about you, but we be lit on Wellness Wednesdays, okay? So I'll see you next week. Toodles. Wellness Wednesday. Hey. Wellness Wednesday. Hey. Hey.